Go straight into technique. So the position we're starting with is the over-under. It's a very common scenario when you're grappling or wrestling from the feet. You can end up here many different ways. I'm usually, when they collar tie me here, and I try to punch an underhook here, and then I'm trying to get my double unders, he's not just gonna allow that, right? So he's gonna pummel in an underhook himself. So we're just gonna start with this position here. And then the first thing I wanna do is take one step to the outside. And as I do that, I'm pinching his elbow and shelving my head next to his bicep here to try to trap his arm. And now I'm just gonna drive into two to make this leg a little bit lighter. And we're just gonna scoop that leg up. So it's kind of like a two-step, 1, 2 here. So 1, 2. As I do that, I'm dropping my head and pinching his elbow in. 1, 2. And we're just gonna move our partner around here and then go again. Okay. So 1, 2. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. So bring your head to the shoulder and pummel an underhook on your right side. So time. Okay. I gotta have you underhook as well. So when he yeah, exactly, just like that. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so pop this down, right?
Yeah.
Head here, and then going this way.
Yeah, but try not to break your own posture while you're doing it. You want to be, loaded here.
And then this goes between my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Here. That.
So let me go one time. I want to drive that direction. So. Yeah. Yeah. So now we're just gonna work on a couple different finishes that we can do once we have that leg. So I step out, I drive in, I scoop the knee up. Now, the first easy takedown option is gonna be just running the pipe here. So I'm gonna step behind me with my left leg, the leg that's on the outside here. As I do that, I'm just gonna hinge at the hips and put all my weight into my arms and sag on his hips. So as I do that, I'm not looking down like this. I'm just using my chest, and it's almost like a reverse deadlift. I'm like driving down into the ground. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. It's basically just a simple little mat return. Now, when that doesn't work, it does serve as like a good little off balance before I hit my back foot sweep. So 1, 2, and when he keeps his balance here, so 1, 2, 1. So we're keeping our partner bouncing, and you want to try to time that foot sweep for as he's coming off the ground, right? If he's based out on that foot, it's not going to work, right? Any questions on that? All right, let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. But I'm hugging everything here, and my arms are what gets real heavy as I chop. Yeah, so.
Do you want to land with him?
Yeah. Not on top, not like smash him, like just for the drill, but yeah. Nice, yeah. So we've been working on mounting from side control. Just some details that we've been working here for the past couple weeks. The main goal is controlling the space between his elbow and his rib cage here, right? And that could be even just like slipping my hand in here and going to the armpit, or slipping in and going to the bicep here. It's a hand fight here. I'm trying to get my underhook eventually, right? I want to start jacking his elbow up above his shoulder line. And that's whenever I'm gonna make pinning him and mounting a lot easier, right? So the other thing is I wanna make sure I'm keeping pressure on his face and turning him this direction with my shoulder. So I'm gonna use my other hand to help me lift the side of his shoulder off the mat so I can palm his shoulder blade. And usually whenever they're rigid and pushing into you, you can kind of shove your elbow deep on that the carotid on this other side, and then you're palming the middle of the back almost, or like a shoulder blade. I want to slide my hand in here, pinch your elbow tight, slide my hand in here, and start getting my elbow in from my underhook. Now, the next thing we have to deal with are his legs. His legs are going to be up to his chest, trying to make himself into a ball here. And that's where it comes in handy. I need to dig my hand and use my other arm to help me get a deep crossface so I can start turning him here. Now that makes it easier for my knee to come across his hips. And now as I'm coming across his hips, two's going to try to trap my foot here when I windshield wipe. Exactly. Now, once we're here, my basing leg is gonna sneak behind, and I'm just gonna come scoop that bottom leg. Then we cross our feet. And now, as he tries to buck and push me off of him here, it's gonna really just help me solidify the mount. And you can hear it in two, that it's a very like pressing position where you're draining that person on the bottom as you're getting to that position. So by the time you get to the mount, he's gonna be so tired from just you smashing him the whole way there that submitting becomes a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. So you can frame in front of his neck here. There you go, yeah.
So what's he doing? His arms?
He's trying to cross face and just underhook here, trying to palm. He can palm either your shoulder or he can go palm to palm. Exactly, and you don't have to necessarily bring it into like a head and arm position. You're just trying to get his elbow high. So frame in front of his face here. Yeah, you're trying to get his elbow above his shoulder. Yeah, exactly.
It's like push on it. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like a,
Mm-hmm. Now turn away. Turn to your left. Turn to your left. Exactly. Nice. Over the scenario where my partner traps my foot, right? Because that happens a lot more often than not, right? It could happen from anywhere, not just from whenever you're trying to mount from here, right? It could have happened from half guard or like pushing me through, and we're in the same scenario, right? So what I'm gonna do is you can feel which foot is which here. He's got his right leg crossed over his left, or underneath his left. So what I'm gonna do is use my free leg that we were hooking the bottom leg with, and I'm just gonna go to that top ankle. And now once I hook it, I'm gonna curl my hamstring, so I bring my heel to my butt, and now it creates a little hip lock of pressure. So whenever he tries to extend me out or push, I can free my foot, and we can mount just the same. So again. So there's a common way where people do this where they use a butterfly hook in here to try to free, right? That creates exactly what he's gonna do here and put me back into his guard, right? So what I wanna do is keep my pressure as I'm doing this. So I'm just using my free leg to hook that top ankle. I'm curling my heel to my butt, and now I'm just freeing my leg whenever I want to, really. If he pinches on my leg here to try to keep it, it's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna mount. Any questions on that? All right, let's play around with it for a little bit and then we'll get some rounds in. 1, 2, 3. Try to flare your right elbow more for base. Yeah, exactly. You wanna get his elbow up as high as you can. Yeah, that top ankle, yeah. So you try to get your arm in underneath. You want an underhook on your right side, cross face pressure. And now you flare your chest up and look up to the ceiling. Now as you're doing this, you can use all your legs separately from your arms. You can base with your arms while you're unlacing his legs with your legs. So curl your right heel to your butt. I'm sorry, your left, sorry. There you go, yep. And now you're free. You windshield wipe with your right leg now. Exactly, you're in mount. He's got my leg the other way. So there you go.
Oh, like that.
Either way. It's not dependent on
scissor?
how he crosses his legs, really. I'm looking for the top leg, the one that's in the middle, in between my legs right now. So my free leg is, just right now it's used for base, right? It's for balance. There is the option of like cutting across, but I don't have an underhook on my left side, so right now that's not really a good option. So I'm gonna use it to untangle his leg. And once I untangle that leg, I'm just hooking low behind his shin, and now I'm gonna flare my hip into his hip, and it creates a little knee pressure or hip lock. So now he has to like let go of my bottom foot, or else it's just, you know, gonna hurt even more. And we can go into this figure 4, or we can just go straight to mount. Grab some water, grab your mouthpieces, and then form a line on the edge of the mat. We're gonna do some positional rounds before we do normal rounds. So we're starting on the back. Winner stays, and you take the back, right? So if 2 escapes, any escape, he stays in, he'll take my spot. If I submit him, then I stay in. If you go on for too long, it's like a 1.5, 2 minute long, we'll call you and say that you guys need to switch out, right? And I'll stay in because he couldn't escape, right? So even if we're here and 2 starts to escape, but he turns into a triangle, right? Turn into me? Exactly, here. It's still live until he taps or he escapes. If he escapes, then he stays, right? Because he escaped, so. All right, let's have 3 guys out here.
working on this mount system for a few weeks, and I can already see people using it in the roll, so it's coming along really well. Remember, we have an in-house tournament coming up. What was the date?
February 25th.
February 25th. So if you want to compete for some fun, you know, get some experience on the mat, we're going to record the matches. It'll be on the website.
Yeah, we'll record them with the cameras, upload them. The idea is so it's kind of like a nerfed out tournament with way better prizes than you would get anywhere else. The idea is to get everyone comfortable competing here. You get to see your matches, and yeah, the prizes are going to be $500, Jiu-Jitsu X credit, gis, Nogi sets, surprises. So it's worth doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah,
Is it you or no?
It's both. All right. Good job.
thank you.